Welcome to TechSociety, a podcast about all the facets of technology and society. Twice a week, we deliver in-depth analysis from a technological perspective, giving you our take on things and interviewing people that are doing important things. Now, here's your hosts, Alex Dunmo and John Newen.
Today we have a nice short episode for you, as John and I are going to give you a quick rundown of the software and tools we couldn't live without in our software development company, Ninja Software.
Now, this list is not exhaustive. Obviously, as a software engineering company, the list of tools we use in our day-to-day work is massive. So here we focus mostly on software that is core to the running of the company. KodiMD.
First on our list is KodiMD. Any conversation about the software we use to operate Ninja has to start with KodiMD. Kodi is the community and self-hosted version of HackMD, a collaborative markdown editor. We use KodiMD for everything. Collaborative email writing, meeting note-taking, general scratchpad, writing document drafts, pretty much anything. It really is an amazing piece of software, and collaborative writing has definitely played a huge part in our ongoing success. And even though Word and Google Docs do have collaborative editing, I find their complex interfaces get in the way. KodiMD uses the power of Markdown, which is nice and simple. If you don't know what Markdown is, it's a lightweight markup language for formatting plain text documents. Essentially characters within your plain text that denotes how the text will look and format. For example, a sentence with a hash next to it is a header. Easy.
Markdown is super easy to pick up even for beginners. Add that simplicity to KodiMD's sharing simplicity and blazing fast collaborative editing, and you have a real winner. Recently, the server our KodiMD runs on went down for maintenance, and the whole company cried out. Without having to force it, everyone uses this tool naturally. It's that good. If there's a thought at Ninja Software, it inevitably started its life as a note in KodiMD.
You can give it a try at hackmd.io. I highly recommend you do so.
Notion, organizational knowledge management. Next on the list is Notion. Notion turns chaos into order at Ninja Software. We use Notion for project management and a knowledge base for our entire company operations. Notion brings to organizational knowledge what Slack did for team communications. It makes it easy and free to jump into a new organization, manage work through blocks that interoperate well with Markdown, and make it easy to collaborate with the rest of the team. Updates are live, data structures are flexible, and you can even set notifications and reminders. You can assign responsible persons for actions, render data into a Kanban board or table, convert line items into new pages, and share links with the public. It's powerful enough that some blogs even use Notion to write, publish, and serve their blog posts. It even lets you export your entire knowledge base into an archive of Markdown files and assets, so you can always pick up and move somewhere else.
Adobe XD, Illustrator, and Photoshop. The bulk of our design work is done in XD. Loved by both of our graphic designers, its simplicity and modern features make it a killer design app when making web and mobile desktop apps, especially prototyping. I'm so happy that Adobe have finally made a tool focused on UX and UI design, most likely built in response to Sketch creeping up on their turf, but XD definitely makes the cloud subscription worth it for us, which is not cheap. For us, XD's killer feature is real-time collaboration. As you might have guessed by now, we're really big on working collaboratively. It's definitely a time saver and increases creativity tenfold. Some other notable features include animated prototypes, integration with Photoshop and Illustrator, app interaction flows, shareable links for customer feedback. There's so many awesome features in XD. I highly recommend you give it a try. It might even still be free, I'm not sure. All Ninja Software projects begin their life as an Adobe XD prototype. Check it out.
Visual Studio Code, programming, and everything else.
Next on the list is the powerhouse behind the actual code writing at Ninja Software, VS Code by Microsoft. Personally, I'm an IntelliJ fan, but more than 90% of Ninja devs are actually working in VS Code. And I'll hand over to John, who loves VS Code.
Available on Windows, macOS, and Linux, and constantly receiving useful updates, VS Code has really gone from strength to strength in the last few years. It has rock-solid Go, TypeScript, and Docker support, and cool features like live collaboration. What's not to love? Approaching a full integrated development environment, I actually use VS Code as a file browser, web browser, markdown previewer, a terminal, and code editor. I use it to manage servers, containers, the Git repository, branches, code reviews, managing my knowledge, a scratchpad, even a database editor. So you could say, I actually use VS Code as my operating system, and sometimes I even write programs with it. Maybe one day I can use it for my emails. Quickbooks for accounting.
We use QBO for our accounting. I've also used Xero, and in previous lives I've tried MyOb Online. Honestly, I don't have much to say about QuickBooks Online. It works for us, it works pretty well, the price is right, payroll system is not bad, features are okay. I guess I'm not that excited about accounting, but we definitely depend on it and couldn't live without it. We couldn't do the books in a spreadsheet. Moving on.
Spotify for music streaming.
Next is Spotify. I'm a massive fan of Spotify with its magical made-for-you playlists, gigantic catalog. I love how at the end of the year you get a playlist that says these are all your favorite songs. Love it. Amazing piece of software and a great example of great user experience design. Paired with the now defunct, thanks Google, Chromecast Audio, Spotify powers the tunes we play in the dojo.
There's no better way to expose everyone to experimental jazz than Spotify. Office 365 for external communications and data rooms.
Not a huge amount to say about Office 365. We started our journey as Google fans, but as G Suite got more and more expensive, Office 365 started to look more and more attractive. Ultimately, we love the SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams integration. Their online Office tools are not quite as good as G Suite, but totally manageable. They work quite well. Sharing with external users, i.e. customers, is a point of contention I have with both G Suite and Office 365. Up until our migration off G Suite, you still couldn't share documents from team drives, forcing you to share from your personal drives, making it really hard to monitor what had actually been shared externally, which is obviously a bit of a security privacy issue. On the flip side, SharePoint OneDrive forces you to jump through several hoops by making you use PowerShell if you want to add external users and share things in a way that they don't really think you should. Not a problem for us, obviously, but something to think about if you're a small business. If we were a small business without people to support these platforms for us, I'd probably use Dropbox instead.
Iintegromat for automating everything.
Iintegromat is a pretty funky, powerful tool. Calling itself the glue of the internet, Iintegromat is a really easy to use automation tool. Actually, you take several actions using different software, plug it all together, it works as a workflow, automation tool, sending data this way and that way. It's really awesome. We actually use this for our coffee bot that provides live coffee stats on the website if you've seen that. Iintegromat glues together our Telegram chatbot that collects the data from staff. So staff tell the bot, I had a coffee. That coffee is then written to a spreadsheet using Iintegromat, and then the website is updated live from that spreadsheet. It even sends the reporting user a nice coffee-based GIF, which is really fun. I implore any power user or even wannabe power users to check out Iintegromat. You'll probably be surprised about how much of your life can actually be automated without writing any code. Very cool stuff.
Reaper for everything audio. Next on the list is Reaper. Reaper is a DAW or DAW, or digital audio workstation. It's used in studios around the world to record music, but in this case, we use it for this very podcast. With it, you get full multi-track audio and MIDI recording. You get editing, processing, mixing, and mastering. Reaper often falls in the shadow of Ableton Live, but I believe that Reaper actually focuses on and is a lot better at dealing with studio recording sessions. Surprisingly, Reaper is actually one of the few nagwares out there. You get a fully functional free version for 60 days, but after that, it asks you to pay, while remaining fully functional. You can find it at www.reaper.fm. GitHub for developer collaboration and project management. GitHub is a code hosting platform that needs no introduction. GitHub is by far the best platform to host source code. Where Notion provides the project knowledge base, GitHub provides the full development project management. With GitHub issues and the relatively new project Kanban board, we really don't need much else to manage our development projects. Our developers collaborate on GitHub with a non-destructive branching workflow. Webhooks are used to trigger our external continuous integration and deployment systems, as well as provide notifications to our team chats. It also ties directly into our tailor-made client portal, providing live stats and updates taken straight from GitHub. GitHub is essentially the lifeblood of Ninja Software. Netlify for easy web deployment and hosting.
Now the platform that essentially powers all of our websites and web apps, Netlify. Netlify is an awesome tool, plugs right into GitHub and continuously deploys and hosts our websites and web apps. An absolute godsend. Netlify really has taken the pain out of running web projects. It even does really cool stuff like server-side rendering and caching just to make everything run quicker and improve SEO. Love Netlify. If you're a single page app developer or you want to build your next website in React, Netlify is the way to go. Don't bother with anything else. Awesome tool. I know Reese has actually been on this podcast before and is our front-end developer, is a massive fan, and so am I.
Discord for operational communications. Thanks to Teams being free with Office 365, we were using that for the longest time. However, when COVID-19 hit and we were all forced to work from home, Teams proved to be a bit too clunky to run complete operations from home. We made the executive decision to give Discord a try. It was a good decision too. Discord's always-on voice chat made it super easy to communicate during lockdown. There are some things we still use Teams for, such as sharing files and confidential ones, as well as SharePoint integration. But for the most part, all of our project chat is now through Discord. Now that we're back in the office, we actually have permanent cameras set up so that our work-from-homers can feel like they're still working alongside their peers. Discord might have been built for gamers, but its slick interface that stays out of your way has won us over. Dscript for super fast editing of podcasts.
Okay, and now the tool that was actually used to edit this podcast, Dscript. Dscript uses the power of AI to automatically transcribe recordings, allowing podcasts to be edited visually, which is seriously powerful. You just click on a word, you're taken to that point in the recording. It then uses this magical AI to automatically remove filler words like ums and ahs. Massive time saver. Dscript is one of those tools that gives us an early hint at what the future of software looks like. Artificial intelligence taking the pain out of complex tasks. Love it. Want more.
Telegram for casual conversations and chat ops.
We are massive Telegram fans. All outside of project chat is done through Telegram. The Ninja Software group chat is a lively place of memes and GIFs and spirited conversation, even on the weekends. Telegram's desktop client is silky smooth, and so are their phone apps. Sharing media and files super easy. Just like Discord, it gets out of your way.
It's also got a great API that we use heavily to write bots. The Telegram bot API gives us a consistent and flexible interface to render our internal systems. This is ChatOps, a system that automates workflows and connects people and processes together by using an instant messaging platform. We use Telegram as a blank canvas for all of our chat ops, from an anonymous messaging pipeline from employees to leadership, to an automated survey on the mental health of our staff, to infrastructure alerts, all the way through to managing our actual software development pipeline.
It's so easy to use, I've even been able to get my 74-year-old father to use it, which was no mean feat, I tell you. Telegram, get on it. And there you have it, a non-exhaustive list of the software and tools that our company, Ninja Software, couldn't live without. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any suggestions for software you think we should try, or have any questions on software we're using, tweet us at TechSociety. On this day in technology, 1996, August 26th, Netscape Communications Corp announced that it had partnered with several other big companies to create a new software company called Navio Corp. Navio was meant to create an operating system to compete with Windows and Microsoft. Ooh. Obviously didn't get anywhere. I'd like to think there's an alternate universe somewhere where Navio ended up being the dominant operating system. A world without Firefox, and maybe one where Netscape ended up being the Internet Explorer of its time. But then again, I do love alternate history timeline stories. My favorite alternate history story is of course Wolfenstein, a first-person shooter by id Games, set in alternate 1960s Europe, where the Nazis won the Second World War. Story follows war veteran William B.J. Blazkowicz in his efforts to stop the Nazis from ruling over the world, essentially by killing them all. Not as good as Doom, but still one of id Software's great titles, including the reboots. What's your favorite alternate history story? Let me know in the comments. Alright, and that's everything for today. So thank you for listening to John and I. Make sure you tune in on Friday. And don't forget, never reuse passwords.